Hi, welcome to Beginner's WordPress Tutorials. I'm Prakash, and today we'll look at how to create a new post. I have the dashboard already open with me over here for my WordPress site, and I also have a document, a notepad document with some dummy text that we'll be using later on. To add a new post, there are 5 different methods. The first method is to go here, add new in posts. You can also use this module called Quick Press, and by adding a title, content and the tags, you can directly publish a new post. You can also click the new post button in the header section. The fourth method is if your WordPress blog is hosted by WordPress.com. In this case, when you log on in the header section, you'll find a button that says Add New Post. And the fifth method is to post by email. The method that we'll be using is Add New in Posts. Okay, now we're in the Add New Post page. We can divide this area into several new blocks. The first one is the title block. This is where you add the title. Then you have the content block. Then you have the publish block and the categories and the tags block. We'll be looking at these 5 blocks essentially, and a little bit at the other ones too, which are excerpt, send trackbacks, custom fields, and discussion author. Let's start with titles. What you should try and do is to give a title that will attract the user's attention, something that is snappy and something that is also SEO friendly. For example, over here I'll just say how to add a new post. There you go. Now as soon as I do that, you'll notice that it's saving the draft. It saves the draft, and then the next thing that you'll see is that a link appears right below the heading. Now this is the link that will go to your new post. If you want, you can change it over here, but it's better to do it directly in the settings, and that you'll see in another tutorial. The next section that you have is the content. Now this content section, for me, it has been placed in HTML. You can also go to a visual editor, and in this case the visual editor is something that is pretty close to most of the word processors you find out there. Personally, I prefer working with HTML editor, as I find that the visual editor keeps formatting the text in ways that I do not like at all. I'll quickly go through both of them. Now the visual editor, as you can see, has almost the same buttons that you'll see in most of the word processors. So you have the bold, italics, strike through, bullet list, and quotes, left and middle and right alignments, adding links, and so on and so forth. Now in the HTML you have a few more buttons. The first is bold, then italic, then add a link, block quote, and other ones which are a little more for people who have a little knowledge of HTML. Now you don't need to be an HTML guru to use this one. I can directly type text, but what I'm going to do right now is use a text that I've already kept aside. Now this text is called dummy text and is pretty useful when you're just making a website and you don't have the content ready yet, but you'd like to see how it look with text inside. So I paste my text, Control C to copy and Control V to paste. Okay, you can paste your text, and that's it. Your post is ready. Now on the other hand, for example, if you're actually doing the whole editing in WordPress itself, then probably you'd like to use some of the other uh, formatting options you have. Generally, I do it in some other documents and then do a copy paste. Okay, so now once you're done with this part, you can publish it. Okay, for that you come to this window over here, the publish window. You have quite a few options over here, and we'll go through these ones. The first is save draft. This is pretty useful if you're going to work in, let's say, you start the work on one day and then you're going to finish the next day. So you don't want to lose your work, neither do you want to publish it. So you just save your draft over here. What you can also do is you can preview your post. By clicking on preview, it opens up a new tab in which I can see the post that I just added. Okay. Then the other things you can edit are the visibility. So over here you choose whether you want your post to be available to the whole to all the public, or if you want it to be private, or if you want to password protect your page. Cancel. The next one that you have is publish immediately. Now this is something that can come in really handy. Let's say you're going on vacation and you're used to publishing one blog every 2 days, and what you can do is you can prepare your posts in advance, and then for each post you can just select the published date and time. So what happens is you go ahead on your vacation and the posts get posted automatically even though you're not there. Okay, we won't touch any of these things over here. So what I can do is right now I can just say publish, but I'd just like to show you a few other things that are pretty important. The next two blocks that we'll look at are categories and post tags. These two help you to better categorize your posts. When you have a lot of posts, it becomes a little easier if you can actually classify them into different categories and tags. As you can see, I've already created a few categories of my own. These are in French, and I won't really bother you with them right now. But what you can do is you can actually create different categories, and every time you make a new post, try to select a different category. In that way it'll help you to actually classify them more easily. Tags also helps you in a similar way, but in a little broader sense. If categories, for example, you can actually do a global differentiation, you can actually make a little more individual differentiation with tags. So each post can have a few different tags. For example, over here I can say beginner, add post, and I can add these. What happens is people browsing the website can use either the category or the tags to try and find all the posts that are classified under either category or post. So this actually helps them to get to what they're looking for. Okay, now that we've gone through everything, what we'll do is we'll quickly publish this new post. Okay, my post has been published. What I'm going to do is I'm directly going to click on this button which says view post, which will take me to my website and directly to my new post. You can see that my new post has been added, and that's it. Well, thanks for listening.